Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. It's always good to be surrounded with our city leaders and municipal officials, and we are excited about the information we're going to provide to you today, but more importantly, about seeing you in Savannah next week. This is going to be a great convention, and we know you're going to have a meaningful experience. And so the team today is going to share a lot about our educational session, some of the fun activities, about the new and expanded Savannah Convention Center, transportation improvements, so much to look forward to. So thank you for being here today. And we certainly look forward to seeing you next week in Savannah. And just know, we at GMA want to work and support and help you in any way possible to make it a meaningful experience for you. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Larry. Okay, let's kick off with some details. Let me turn over to Erica Greer, our Senior Manager for Conference and Events. Erica, will you step us through how to get prepared?
Sure. Thanks, Sharon. I will go through a couple of things, starting with what to wear when you're in Savannah. So, as you guys know, Savannah's pretty warm in June, but the convention center can be quite cold. So make sure you pack accordingly. We want you to be comfortable while outside and inside. So you may want to pack all the layers. Also, most years it rains while we're in Savannah. So make sure to pack a rain jacket or an umbrella to have with you when you're coming to the convention center or leaving in the afternoons. All right, next up, we'll talk about hotels. The hotels have your reservations already at this time. So if you need to make any changes, you'll need to do those directly with the hotels. Don't make any changes through our site anymore because the hotels need to make those updates in their systems directly. In addition to that, if you need to submit credit card authorization forms, that is, if you will not have the credit card with your name on it when you're checking in, you need to contact your hotels directly and ask them for a credit card authorization form, and they will either email that to you or tell you how to find it and then submit it back to them. We encourage you to do this in advance of check-in because that'll make sure you have a smoother check-in process. Additionally, make sure you've got your tax forms filled out and ready to present to you at check-in as well. Hopefully we can keep these registration lines short for y'all. So if you do all of this stuff ahead of time, you should help out with those lines. Again, payment by check, that is at the discretion of each hotel. So make sure you touch base with them. The next slide, Sharon, will actually have all of the local hotel numbers for y'all's convenience. We emailed these out as well. This is always preferable to contact them directly versus using an 800 number online. All right, next we're going to talk about meals at the convention. If you are registered for a 6-hour training course on Friday, your training class will include a continental breakfast that morning before the class begins. Then you will have a lunch break time that your trainers will instruct you which time to break and where to go from there. If you're in a 3-hour afternoon class, you will have an afternoon break, but lunch is not included in those classes. On Saturday, we will have a continental breakfast for those of you taking 3-hour training classes that morning, and we'll end before lunch that day. So if you're registered for the full conference, you'll also have access to box lunches in the policy committee meetings. These are intended for those attending the policy committee meetings and not for those who are done for the day and leaving the convention center. So make sure you are aware that we encourage you to attend those policy committee meetings to get one of those lunches. That afternoon, we'll have a light reception in the exhibit hall. And then Sunday morning, we'll also have another continental breakfast for full conference registrants. Lunch, a full buffet lunch in the municipal marketplace is also for full conference registrants, anybody buying an exhibit pass, or those guests that are registered with you. Then we will have Monday morning continental breakfast for full conference registrants before our general session that morning. And the awards luncheon, which is not included in your full conference registration. So be sure that your registration has a ticket for that event. If you have not already purchased one, you can do this when you get to Savannah next week on site at the registration desk. And we ask you to do that as soon as you get to Savannah. Tickets will be limited the closer we get to that event. That evening, we'll have a closing event for all of you full conference registrants and guest registrations as well. You can purchase additional tickets for that if you have another guest that hasn't already purchased that ticket. And we can do that at registration for you guys on site next week. And that will include enough food to be considered dinner. We'll have stations and fun activities for you guys there. And then the next morning, if you're staying around for Tuesday, you'll have a continental breakfast and end before lunchtime. All right, so next is badge printing. When you arrive to Savannah, if you get there Thursday, we will have badge stations for you guys to print at the Convention Center, the Marriott Riverfront, the Hyatt, and the Westin. Those are our larger blocks, and they're centrally located to a lot of our other hotels. So we thought this might be a convenient option for you instead of having to travel to the Convention Center if you're not already over there. We will also have these badge printing stations throughout the Convention Center for the duration of the conference if you're not available Thursday. And to print your badge, you'll just enter your first initial, your last name, and then it will pop up your registration. You'll click print, and all you need from there is a lanyard and a program, and you're good to go. And I'm going to turn it back over to Sharon.
Great. Thank you so much, Erica. Fantastic information. Next, we'll move to the Deputy Director for Training and Leadership Development, Aileen Harris, and she will talk you through getting ready for their training classes. Aileen? And Aileen, you're on mute, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in training classes. We have 51 classes this year in all, but the 4 Friday afternoon classes start at 8:15 in the morning. So I want to emphasize to get there early. Give yourself at least an hour. So you're not rushed. You get there, you can find your class, grab a bite to eat, get a beverage, network, which is also an important part of training. And I'm going to ask to make sure you have your name badge because we will be scanning your name badge in. And then at the end of class, you will have the option this time to scan out. There'll be a QR code on the screen, and we'll also have some paper copies. So you can still use the paper course completion form, but the scanning, if you scan the QR code, you can complete your course learning to action form online. 30 minutes, you have 30 minutes grace period for 6-hour classes and 15-minute grace period for 3-hour classes. If you don't get scanned or if you're late, you may not get credit. So please give yourself enough time. Links to most classes, to the class presentations were sent yesterday. They're also available on the app. You can scan that QR code there and see them all. If you have trouble accessing them, please let me know. For certificates, if you are receiving certificates, you will get instructions from me on where you need to be. You need to pick up your name card before the ceremony. And if you're getting excellence, achievement, or recognition, you need to get your certificate after the ceremony and then take your photo. Dedication and distinction will be on stage. I'm going to repeat what Erica said about meals. The only classes that have lunch included are the 6-hour classes on Friday. There are refreshment breaks for the 3-hour classes, and there's breakfast for the morning classes, and all classes have refreshment breaks. I think that's it from me. I'm turning back over to Sharon.
Great. Thank you, Aileen. Okay, so everybody's prepared. Now you've arrived in Savannah. Erica's going to tell us how to get around. Erica?
All right. So first up, we'll talk about the shuttles. Our partners at Visit Savannah have helped us plan a shuttle route accordingly based on all of our hotels. So you will see 3 routes here: the red route, purple route, and orange route. Each of our hotels that were in our block when we opened convention registration will be on one of these stops, with the exception of the Westin, since you're connected to the convention center. So make note of which shuttle route you're on and be aware that the stop for each bus might not be directly in front of your hotel door. So make a note of where your bus actually picks up so you don't miss it. We often hear that a shuttle hasn't come by my hotel, but it's typically because the stop is around the corner or you can't see it from the doors. And while nobody wants to stand outside in the heat and wait, just know that these buses should run in 15 or 20-minute routes. On express routes, we'll have 2 buses per stop. And then on the standard schedule, that'll be 1 bus per route. So that might take a little bit longer. And next, we'll talk about the ferries. But as we're transitioning to that, we just want to remind you to take about 30 minutes or so to give yourself that time to get over to the convention center. Between the bus routes and the ferries, 30 minutes is a good window of time to make sure that you're getting one of those options and getting across the river in time for your class or our concurrent sessions, our opening general session, etc. So for the ferries, Savannah has 2 brand new ferries that we will get to use while we're in town. And they will be running an express schedule, which is that triangle. One ferry will run from the convention center Weston stop to directly over towards the Marriott riverfront. The other will run to the Hyatt stop. And then when we're off express schedule, which is rare, they will run one boat will run a triangle. So just again, take note of the express schedules. Depending on cargo ships, it should be a rather quick turnaround for those boats to get loaded and back and forth across the river. If neither of those options work for you, there is parking at the convention center. They have a large surface lot as well as a parking deck if you prefer that. And on the next slide, you'll see a QR code, which you can register for this at any point in time. We have worked out a discounted parking rate for them, and we'll send out this information in one of our Know Before You Goes or Countdown to Convention emails prior to y'all's arrival. Basically, when you scan this, it'll take you to this Metropolis website. You'll put in your license plate, your phone number, and your payment information. And then this way, when you're leaving the parking, if you are utilizing that, it just scans your tag and it knows when you have come and gone, and you don't have to get a parking ticket or do anything that takes time or wait in any lines. And so just be aware this is relatively new and they're still working out all the information, and we are happy to pass this along so you can kind of pre-plan for this for your trip. And again, we'll be sending this information out, and the transportation schedules are all in our programs and on our mobile app. So you should have everything you need to get around Savannah next week.
Great, thank you, Erica. We are thrilled to let this group know that the Savannah Convention Center expansion is completed, and we will be utilizing the expanded space. But I'm going to have Erica kind of walk through a little bit more of the details of the convention center. Erica, back to you.
All right. So those of y'all that have come to convention before, the space is going to be a bit larger, but hopefully not confusing because it is just an extension of what we're used to. So the 100 rooms just continue on adding extra meeting space for us to host most of our training classes on site this year versus at the Marriott and predominantly at the Westin. The only thing that I would note is when we are going to general session in the governor's ballroom, all of the levels do not connect. So you'll use the escalator and elevators at the front of the building, the front being towards the parking lot. We'll have lots of signage to help direct you around. And another different thing that will happen this year, instead of the exhibit hall or municipal marketplace opening right behind our registration desk, we'll open it in the east lobby, which is where hall B and C are. This is where our buses will drop off. If you're shuttling over, that east lobby entrance is kind of going to be one of our main thoroughfares. With that being said, most of our breaks will be set in River Concourse where registration takes place, as well as east lobby. We know the expansion is quite large, so we want to make sure you guys have easy access to everything throughout the convention. And that means we are kind of doubling up on things that have previously just lived near registration. I think that is it pretty much covers the expansion, but again, we'll have lots of directional signs and staff to help get you around. And the Weston outside entrance is back open. That was closed last year due to some construction, but that is available now. So you do not just have to go in between the Weston through the garage tunnel. You can access the convention center the usual way outside. And again, we'll have lots of signage to help direct you guys. And I think that covers it, Sharon.
Perfect, thank you. So wear your comfortable shoes because there is twice the space, but again, we're super thrilled to be able to utilize everything in the convention center that is available to us. Okay, we will move on to Yolanda Tanner, Deputy Director of Conference and Management Services, to talk about the municipal marketplace. Yolanda?
Thank you, Sharon. I'm so excited this year that the municipal marketplace is going to be larger and better than ever. It's an incredible place for city leaders and staff to explore a wide range of different exhibitors supporting Georgia City's day-to-day operations. Whether you're reconnecting with a trusted partner or discovering new businesses with innovative products and services, this is the place you need to be. We're excited to kick the marketplace off with a light reception, as Erica alluded to when she was talking, on Saturday at 4 o'clock. Please join us then and stay in the hall until 6 o'clock so you can explore. Our hours this year will be Saturday, June the 22nd, as I said, from 4 to 6, opening with a reception. Sunday, June the 23rd, from 10:30 until 2, and we will have lunch provided in the hall as well. This year, I'm also proud to announce that we have record-breaking numbers. See the floor plan? We have 208 different companies and associations that will be represented in the hall, which is about 218 booths because we have 10 that bought 2 booths. And the GMA booth, as you can see, is in the middle of the hall, a little bit really larger than it was last year, because this year it's going to be a one-stop shop. You can shop there and go and pick up your delegate gift. The Live in the Hall, we're going to have a seating area if you'd like to come and visit that. On Saturday, RMEB's team is going to have chair yoga in the GMA booth. And of course, our wonderful staff will be in there to answer any questions or whatnot. Also, while you're in the GMA booth, pick up a bingo card. We're going to be having a GMA bingo. You can, you'll get more information on where to drop your card. Everything is going to happen with that bingo card in the GMA booth. So when you are finished with it, you'll be able to drop it off. We're going to have a couple of drawings for some gift cards at the end of the show around 1:30. Well, it's not the end, but at 1:30 on Sunday afternoon. We encourage you also to remember that while the show is open on Saturday and Sunday, while we're in Savannah, we have an online municipal marketplace that is open the entire year. This is a great place for you to go, and you can still shop around, see what people have to offer without actually having to talk to somebody unless you choose to. But please take the time to talk to, get to know the exhibitors. They are a valuable asset to not only the cities, but to GMA as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. Appreciate that. Next, we'll move on to some of the program highlights. So we'll ask Deputy Executive Director Bill Thornton to walk us through the program.
Well, thank you, Sharon. This year, we're really excited about the program. We think you're going to find it to be both informative and very inspiring. And so for the next couple of minutes, I want to just touch on some of the highlights beginning on Saturday and then going through Monday. The first set of meetings I want to talk about are our policy committee meetings. As most of you know, GMA has 6 policy committees. They'll be meeting in 3 groups of 2. You see the times and the meetings scheduled on that slide. Know that the first set of meetings will be providing a boxed lunch. We hope you'll take advantage of that. And please know that all of you are welcome to attend the meetings. These meetings are open to all attendees. Our government relations team has put together great programs featuring members of the General Assembly. They're going to be talking about very timely topics that came out of this year's session, as well as issues that we anticipate for next year. And then at the end of each meeting, the committees will be asked to consider and approve the legislative policies for 2026 that will ultimately be voted on at our business meeting on Sunday. Next, I want to comment on the opening general session Sunday morning at 9 o'clock in the new Governor's Ballroom. Our traditional parade of flags will begin right at the start of the session. If you haven't already registered to be part of that ceremony, it's not too late. Just let us know that you want to be a part of that, and we would love to have you. You'll notice on the program several things. Savannah Mayor Van Johnson, and not only is going to give a welcome, but this year he is serving as the second vice president of National League of Cities. So he's going to make some remarks in the capacity he has at NLC. Also, we are going to be debuting a new video on Georgia Forward, GMA's nonprofit that recently merged with Georgia City Solutions, to give you an opportunity to learn more about the mission and programs of Georgia Forward. And then finally, we're very excited to have John Gordon this year as our keynote speaker. Many of you may know of John. He's a best-selling author, a highly popular speaker, and leadership consultant to Fortune 500 companies, professional and college sports teams. He's got a message built around the convention theme and one of his books, The Power of Positive Leadership. I know you'll want to hear that. And immediately following the session, he's going to go into the municipal marketplace. We'll have books available for purchase, and he'll be happy to sign those and have his picture made with him. So please take advantage of that opening session. I think you can find it to be very inspiring. Following the opening session at 11 o'clock, we're excited also to have Justice Verda Colvin with us. She's a member of the Georgia Supreme Court. She'll be speaking later, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But she's also agreed this year to bring a message to the children and grandchildren of our convention attendees. So we hope if you have children and grandchildren, whether they are registered or not, to come by and hear a message from her. She's going to talk about her personal journey, reflect on what inspired her to public service, and encourage all of our young people to really dream big and think about their future. In addition, she's going to read a book called Hey Georgia, written by Malcolm Mitchell. It's a book that we'll be making available to all the attendees. So if they come, they will be able to leave with a book. Next, after a lunch break, we're going to have one of the more popular features of the convention, which is our rapid fire sessions. You'll see we'll have two groups running concurrently, a group of small cities and then a group of larger cities. And if you haven't attended these sessions before, each of these presentations runs about 6 or 7 minutes, where someone from the city is going to talk about a program or initiative they have found to be very popular and successful. It gives you just enough information to whet your appetite and want to find out more. But they do offer a lot of great ideas and insights that you can take back home. Following the rapid fire sessions on Sunday afternoon, we will have our annual business meeting. As I mentioned earlier, we're very honored that Justice Verda Colvin of the Supreme Court is joining us this year, and she's going to begin the session by providing an inspirational message built around public service and leadership. Then we have 3 main business items for consideration this year. Obviously, each year we adopt our legislative policies. Those will be presented by Mayor Gibby as the incoming chair of the GMA Legislative Policy Council. Our General Counsel, Rishi Patel, will be presenting 2 amendments to the GMA bylaws. Those have been sent to all the cities in advance, so you've had a chance to review those. And then finally, the nominating committee report will be presented for the election of GMA's officers and board of directors. And following the election, they will be installed by Rishi, and Justice Colvin will be installing our incoming president, Mayor Bianca Motley Broom, and she will conclude the session with providing her remarks for the year. Next, I want to move into Monday morning. We have another, we think, really informative general session lined up beginning at 8:30. It has 3 parts. I'll just quickly mention that Rushi is going to talk about the issue of municipal liability and why every city should be concerned about the current law and how it applies to cities. Also, the second part will be a panel discussion about literacy. As you know, GMA, working with our nonprofit Georgia Forward, has been very involved working with the Georgia Council on Literacy on the whole issue of literacy. In fact, you may remember last year, the Georgia Reads campaign was kicked off at the GMA convention. We're very honored that Speaker John Burns, Speaker of the House, will be one of the panelists. He'll be joining one of our mayors, Carlos Duffy from Jackson, along with Sadie Krozik, our Managing Director of Georgia Forward, and Sarah Richards, the Georgia Literacy Coach. And then the session will wrap up with a conversation that Larry is going to have with the CEO and Executive Director of the National League of Cities, Clarence Anthony, on federal issues that are concerned and should be of interest to all cities. So that will wrap up the Monday general session. And then immediately we'll move into concurrent sessions. We'll have 2 blocks of 1-hour sessions, one block beginning at 10 and the other block beginning at 11:15. You can see the topics listed, and of course on our app and on our website, you can see full program descriptions. The point that I would make there that these sessions have been largely developed in response to feedback we received from our members through a survey that was sent out back in the spring. Next, I want to comment briefly on the awards luncheon beginning at 12:30. As Erica said earlier, this is a separate ticketed event. So if you haven't already purchased a ticket, we encourage you to do so prior to getting to Savannah, although you would have an opportunity to purchase one on site as long as tickets remain available. You can see the list of awards that will be presented this year. I will mention next to the last line, for the first time, 4 cities are going to be recognized for attaining the Excellence in Policing certification. This is a new GMA initiative that was just announced a couple of years ago. We look forward to recognizing those cities and more in the future. And then in the area of training, in addition to providing the normal training certificates, we're going to introduce our new 400 Club. These are city officials that have earned at least 400 hours of training. And this year, I believe we will have 9 city officials receiving that recognition. And then finally, on Monday afternoon, our district meetings, you'll see how they're going to be grouped. We'll have 6 different sessions. Each session is going to focus on the issue of municipal workforce development. City officials from each of those areas are going to talk about strategies that they have undertaken to try to help recruit and retain employees in those critical positions that all cities need to fill to provide services to their constituents. So that is a quick wrap up of our program highlights. Sharon, I'll turn it back over to you.
Great, thank you, Bill. What an amazing lineup of programming that we have while you are in Savannah. But of course, we close out the entire event with the closing event. So back to Erica to give us a little sneak peek at what will be happening this year at the closing event.
All right, thanks, Sharon. If you guys made it all the way through district gatherings on Monday, look forward to that closing event Monday evening. This year, we're going to move it out of the exhibit hall and up to the new governor's ballroom. I'm super excited about this because not only will we get to provide some of the cool, fun entertainment that we've done the past couple of years, we're also going to bring back a band, and all of it's going to be in the same space. So it's not going to be disjointed as a couple of years ago where you had to go upstairs for the band after the fact. We're going to have music, character artist, a Forrest Gump impersonator, and several other exciting things going on all in the same room. So we are looking forward to having you guys and celebrating ending the 2025 GMA convention on Monday evening. So if you're still going to be in town, make sure you are heading back over around 6 o'clock to end convention with us. And yep, I hope everybody enjoys it, and we are excited, and everybody will be super excited on Tuesday when we wrap up another successful year.
Thank you, Erica. It sounds exciting. I can't wait. Just to sort of wrap up, we do want to talk about a couple of helpful resources for everyone. The GA Cities app contains all of this information. So if you have not downloaded it already, as it is available throughout the year, please be sure to download using the appropriate QR code for the type of phone that you have. Again, all of the information is included on there. Most importantly is if you will enable your notifications, we will be sending push notifications throughout the entire convention time period. So that way you can stay up to date if there's any changes or any information, and to ensure that you're not late to attend any of these fabulous events that you have heard about earlier today. As Bill also mentioned, please visit the GMA convention webpage. This has, again, more information available on it, and then important resources that Erica mentioned around the hotel forms and things like that. So be sure, again, to go to the webpage for up-to-date information that's available to you. And in closing, thank you for joining us. We'll go and see if there are any questions, Alan, for the group.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Hello, everyone. We have had some great questions come in during the session today. Thank you to all of you that have submitted those. We've been able to answer all of those questions as we go. So, Sharon, at this time, we have no additional questions. Of course, to all our webinar attendees, please don't hesitate to reach out to us as questions come to mind following the conclusion of the webinar. Look forward to seeing everyone in Savannah. Sharon, back to you.
And of course, all of this would not be possible without our sponsors. We are thrilled that these companies partner throughout not only the convention, but the year for us. So please be sure, if you see any of them at the convention, to extend your appreciation for their support in ensuring that, again, our convention is successful. So with that, we will wrap up. As I mentioned earlier, this is being recorded, and as soon as the recording is put together, we will be posting it so that you can review any of the information. And we look forward to seeing you in Savannah next week. Safe travels, everyone. Take care.